Tinubu appoints DG for Women's Development Center. I almost lost my job because of Desmond Elliot, says Bajabia Miller. Talking forthcoming election 2027, conduct primaries where contests or fail, Tinubu tells APC leaders. This and many more headlines we have this morning. Good morning to you, dear listeners. You're welcome to the program, The Dailies, on Buzz 99.3 FM, a place where entertainment meets humanity. My name is Bamidupe Kolawole. Stay tuned as we'll be bringing you details of the headlines previously read. Starting with the Daily Post newspaper, talking politics 2027 conducts primaries wherever consensus failed, Tinubu tells APC leaders. President Bola Tinubu has called on leaders of the ruling All Progressive Congress across the Federation to conduct primary election wherever consensus fail. The president made this call in a statement by Special Assistant on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, yesterday. He charged all participants in primaries as contestants or voters to keep the peace and be ready to play as sportsmen and women in the overall interest of the party and the country. According to him, the party cannot afford rancorous conduct or the disbasement of the nation's democracy or party unity. Conduct primaries wherever consensus fail, Tinubu tells APC leaders. Still talking politics, Kwakwanto has PhD, but Nigeria needs wealth creator like me, says Obi. Former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has said what Nigeria needs today is a wealth creator and manager like himself. Obi told on a televised interview, said that no presidential aspirant, including President Bola Tinubu, can match his experience as a wealth creator. He stated this in reaction to Senator Rabiu Kwakwanto, former governor of Kano State, who said at Chatham House in London in 2023 that he had a PhD and was more qualified to be president than to be Obi's running mate. Kwakwanto was a presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party at the time. Both men have now joined the Nigerian Democratic Congress (NDC), with Kwakwanto likely to become Obi's running mate in 2027 after the party zoned the presidential tickets to the southern region, where Obi comes from. The headline to that story says Kwakwanto has PhD, but Nigeria needs wealth creator like me, says Obi. Minors marry selves off with 3,000 naira in Bauchi. Young girls and boys in Bauchi metropolis were caught engaging in illegal marriage arrangements with one another who are ostensibly below the adult age of 18 years with just 3,000 naira as bride price. The supposed wife, named Withead, whom the father said is 18 years old, and illegal husband was presented to the Action Committee on Sexual and Gender-Based Violence, chaired by the wife of the state governor, Aisha Bala Muhammad, yesterday alongside other suspects. They were apprehended by the State Vigilante and Youth Employment Agency led by Umar Ali Shai in partnership with Bauchi State Police Command. The wedding guests, the illegal imam, and the underage girl who acted as the bride's mother were all arrested. Minors marry selves off with 3,000 naira in Bauchi. I almost lost my job because of Desmond Elliot, says Bajabia Miller. Chief of Staff to the President of Nigeria, Femi Bajabia Miller, yesterday disclosed that he nearly lost his position over political crisis that rocked the Lagos State House of Assembly during the lead speakership tussle involving Mudashiru Obasa. Bamidupe made the revelation during a constituency stakeholder meeting held in Lagos, where he spoke on the controversy surrounding actor-turned-lawmaker Desmond Elliot. According to him, President Bola Tinubu had summoned him during the height of the assembly crisis and questioned him over allegations that Elliot was involved in the move to destabilize the House. But Bamidupe said he immediately defended the Surulere lawmaker, insisting that Elliot was not part of those allegedly working against the leadership of the assembly. The former Speaker of the House of Representatives further disclosed that shortly after the meeting, he contacted Elliot and warned him to steer clear of the crisis if he was involved in any way. I almost lost my job because of Desmond Elliot, says Bamidupe. A very sad one here. After 20 million naira rice oil ransom, terrorists hold on to adopted Kwara church worshippers. Residents of Osogbo community in the Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State have reasons to continue to be worried as terrorists refuse to let go 8 worshippers of Ekwa Church adopted since 53 days ago. Newsmen gathered that despite the payment of 20 million naira ransom to the terrorist with a bag of rice, a yellow keg of groundnut oil, the terrorist has refused to grant the victims freedom. Recall that the wife of the pastor of Ekwa Church and aged men and women numbering 8 were adopted during a Sunday church service on the 22nd of March 2026 at about 9:30 a.m. The terrorists were reportedly shooting sporadically into the air on the fateful day, while they marched into the church and adopted the aged who couldn't run to escape, including the pastor's wife who was strapping a member's baby on her back. Back to the headline. After 20 million naira rice oil ransom, terrorists hold on to adopted Kwara church worshippers. Tinubu appoints DG for Women's Development Center. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Adedayo Olaniyi as the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Mariam Babangida National Center for Women's Development for an initial term of 4 years. The appointment, which took effect from the 18th of April 2026, was conveyed in a letter signed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, and issued by the Permanent Secretary General Services Office, Ibrahim Kana. According to a statement issued yesterday by the Head of Information and Public Relations, Chris Ugugwagwem, the appointment was made in line with the provisions of Section 7(1) and 3 of the National Center for Women's Development Amendment Act 2023. Tinubu appoints DG for Women's Development Center. Ogun approves fear at insurance scheme for retirees. The Ogun State Governor, Dapo Abiodun, has approved the extension of health insurance coverage to retirees in the state under a newly introduced scheme known as Ogun State Retirees Health Insurance Scheme. A statement issued yesterday by the State Head of Service, Kehinde Onosoya, said the initiative is designed to cater to retired public servants, thereby ensuring that they continue to enjoy access to quality and affordable healthcare services after retirement. The Head of Service said Governor Dapo Abiodun had approved the payment of 17.4 million naira monthly for the payment of the retirees' health insurance premium. All retirees will enjoy full insurance coverage without paying or contributing any amount. The initiative is aimed at safeguarding the health and well-being of retired officers who devoted the productive years of their lives to the service and development of Ogun State. And also he explained that the initiative followed the successful implementation of the public sector health insurance scheme for serving public servants introduced by the government in August 2024. Ogun approves health insurance scheme for retirees. 2,000 police stations not enough to protect 200 million Nigerians, says IG. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, had yesterday backed a call by the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission for the establishment of 3,000 new police stations across the country, warning that existing security infrastructure is grossly inadequate for Nigeria's growing population. Disu said the Nigerian police force is currently operating at about 2,000 police stations nationwide, a figure he said cannot effectively serve a population of more than 200 million people. He spoke at Infrastructure Dialogue 2026, a program organized for entrepreneurs by Dutch partners holding in Abuja. The IGP was represented by Commissioner for Police and Charter Works, Obiora Orawusi, said the scale of the country's security infrastructure deficit requires urgent intervention through public-private partnership, development finance institution, and capital markets instrument. He said the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission has identified the need for 3,000 new police stations, 1,000 new prisons, and 170 new barracks, a scale of investment that necessitates PPPs, TFIs, and capital market. The headline says 2,000 police stations not enough to protect 200 million Nigerians. Nigeria, Germany seals £365 million development investment partnership. Nigeria and Germany has signed a £365 million development and investment partnership agreement to support economic growth, energy expansion, agriculture, and private sector development in Nigeria. The agreement was signed yesterday at the German Embassy in Abuja by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, the Minister of State for Budget and Economic Planning, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, and senior German government officials, according to a statement issued by the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning. Speaking during the signing ceremony, Uzoka Anite said they recognize the development cooperation must increasingly catalyze investments, innovation, sustainable financing, and said this partnership is therefore not merely procedural. It is concrete affirmation of shared commitment to improving Nigerians' lives. The statement noted that the agreement includes a £65 million financial and technical cooperation commitment from Germany, as well as an additional £300 million export credits guarantee financing framework to mobilize investment and long-term funding for strategic projects in Nigeria. A good one there. Nigeria and Germany seal £365 million development investment partnership. Away from there, adopt ranching, modern livestock farming. Federal government urge pastoralists. The federal government has urged pastoralists across the country to adopt sedentary livestock production to improve breed, pasture development, and livestock management. Minister of Livestock Development, Dr. Idi Maiha, made the call during an interactive session with the Mieti Hala Fulako Yeso Development Association yesterday in Abuja. Maiha identifies sanitarization and modernization of livestock production as key priority of the ministry in reforming the livestock sector. He, however, frowned at the continued migration of livestock in search of pasture and water, describing the practice as no longer visible or profitable. According to him, population growth, expansion of crop cultivation, and climate change has made open grazing increasingly difficult, adding that natural grasslands are no longer readily available and animals are highly malnourished in many parts of the country. He said adoption of sedentary livestock production is essential and must be embraced by pastoralists. Back to the headline of that story: adopt ranching, modern livestock farming. Federal government urge pastoralists. Habia Abia judiciary workers end 2-month strike sign MOU with state government. The Abia State chapter of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, has announced the suspension of its industrial action, which began on the 15th of March 2026. The suspension of the strike follows the signing of Memorandum of Understanding, also known as MOU, with the Abia State government aimed at resolving the lingering issue. Chairman of JUSUN in Abia, Chinedu Eze, and State Secretary Chibueze Onwachukwu, who confirmed the suspension of the strike, said the decision took immediate effect after the agreement was ratified by the Union Congress. The statement said the MOU substantially addressed the concern raised by the judiciary workers during the strike. JUSUN commended Abia State Governor Alex Oti for his intervention and commitment to prioritizing the welfare of judiciary workers in the state. Abia judiciary workers end 2-month strike sign MOU with state government. In the power sector, talking electricity, TCN records 276 tower vandalism in 3 years. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, said it recorded about 276 vandalized infrastructure from 2022 to 2025 nationwide. Speaking at the public sensitization on the issues of vandalism of TCN infrastructure held in Itori, Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State, the General Manager, TCN Lagos Region, Engineer Adeshino Adeonipekun, noted and said, I can recall as of last year, 2025, from 2022, we recorded nothing less than 276 tower vandalism. And this year, with the support of communities and proactiveness of our staff, we have been able to minimize the issue of vandalism to about 40. We put measures in place, one of which is our yearly sensitization program held at different locations to curb vandalism. This enables us to collaborate with communities and host communities to safeguard our infrastructure, and that the low-key in the southwest, as the record is quite minimal. The National Security Advisor and efforts from security agencies has helped them apprehend culprits involved. Talking electricity, TCN records 276 tower vandalism in 3 years. World Bank restricts Instagram comments over Nigerians' $1.25 billion loan backlash. The World Bank seems to have restricted comments on part of its Instagram page following a wave of reaction from Nigerians opposing plans by the federal government to secure a fresh $1.25 billion loan facility under President Bola Tinubu. The backlash comes after an executive report by Newsman that federal government is in advanced discussion with the World Bank on a proposed facility to support economic reforms, electricity expansion, digital infrastructure, agriculture, and job creation initiative. The proposed loan, titled Nigerian Action for Investment and Job Creation, is expected to be presented for approval on the 26th of June 2026, about 6 months and 21 days before the January 16, 2027 presidential election, according to the revised timetable of the Independent National Electoral Commission. If approved, the loan will rank as the second largest single World Bank facility secured under Tinubu, behind only the $1.5 billion reform for economic stabilization to enable transformation development policy financing approved in June 2024. At an exchange rate of 1,661 naira to the dollar, the proposed $1.24 billion facility translates to about 1.70 trillion naira, highlighting the scale of external financing being pursued by the federal government amidst ongoing economic reforms. World Bank restricts Instagram comments over Nigerians' $1.25 billion, I beg your pardon, loan backlash. Now taking state news, 6 kingmakers in Ikero State has declared support for Governor Ademola Adelike's directive to the State Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Gotan, to contain alleged plan to cause mayhem in the town. The kingmakers, Chief Diakola Togo Aldofi, Chief Oluwole Atoyebi Ojomo, Chief Bamidupe Kolawole Elemo, Chief Rahim Okulola, Chief Suleiman Olaore, and Chief Aziz Moitala made the disclosure in a statement obtained in Osogbo yesterday. In the statement jointly signed by the chief, the kingmaker accused the Asa of Ikiruland, Chief Abdulkarim Adetoyeshi, of actions that could undermine peace in the community. They said Adetoyeshi was misleading the people of Ikiru by claiming he had the right to appoint a king for the town, contrary to the official position of the state government. Dear listeners, many thanks for staying tuned. You're on to Buzz 99.3 FM, and this is a wrap on the program. The dailies this morning. It makes a return next week by God's grace. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Bamidupe Kolawole. Do you have a great day and a great weekend?